So tell me what challenges you've faced then in the role you have.
Well,
or in the industry, entirely up to you.
I've had some people would say if I was your property manager, well, we joke about it in the work that you are cursed, right? But obviously it's a joke. But I've had a lot of, in what I would call a short period in the industry, I've had a lot of sort of challenges that I've experienced that none of my colleagues have. So, I had sort of one incident very early on in my career where an owner called me and she was like, "Oh, there's a hole in the garden," and on the face of it, that doesn't sound very serious. And I was like, "Okay," and she asked her all the question about where this hole was, and thought I'd nailed it. Sent the contractor. The contractor's on the phone saying, "I can't find a hole." He found something small around about a drain and he fixed it. And anyway, she calls up a couple of days later. She is absolutely raging, that we've not got the right location. So, I do the right thing. I go out and meet her. And she says, "It's down there." And I look down and, it's a sort of tenement over on south side. And, you go down into the basement garden and you would need to climb down there, which is lucky because no one's been down there. Because when I look down, there's a hole about that size, absolutely tiny, but I can see it's a really deep, dark, black hole. And that if I stood on that ground, it would all just disappear underneath me. So I phoned the office and I'm like, "Oh my God, what do I do?" And they're like, "I don't know. Is there anything around you can see that, like how the hole started?" I says, "Well, there's a drain cover." So we phoned D&D Cant, good old Warnock. He's been there for a good number of years. He came out and he was like, "Wow." So all the drains ran down the Full Street, your main sort of drainage away, everything came into it. But our drain, or the owner's drain going into that, had just come away and must have come away years and years and years before. And it had just washed away everything underneath that tenement. And so when Warnock opened up the ground and took the pictures and I was over there, it was like when you go on holiday, to Greece and you take a boat trip and you go and see these lovely caves. That's what it was like. It was unbelievable. It went like 10 metres back, 3 metres high. And obviously the insurers were like, get them out. So you're 10 o'clock at night, we're getting the owners out. It turns out luckily everything was structurally safe. However, they did get, a lot of concrete or, I couldn't even tell you what they pumped under there. It was that long ago. But, as part of the claim, that was all reinforced. But that was one of the first challenges that, I came up against. And
I'm surprised you're still in property management after coming across that one so early on.
That was a big one, and I do laugh about that even to this day and still tell it to new starts and things. But there's been a few more. I've had 2 fires, 2 communal fires. Again, don't know many colleagues have even experienced one. One of which the fire was caused by one of these magnifying mirrors. The ones that we all stick on our window that you shouldn't, by the way. This is like a warning.
To see more outside?
No, to see more of your face, when you pluck your eyebrows.
Oh, right. Okay, right. Yeah,
I
don't do that. So, yeah,
right.
I get what you mean.
So those are not meant to be anywhere near your window because, as you would imagine, sun hits them, reflects on the curtains. Next minute, your whole roof's off. So that's what happened to that property. And of both properties that experienced a fire, typically none of them had a common insurance policy. They chose to have their own insurance. And in both cases, there was at least 2 owners that weren't insured. So the administering of the insurance claim for, we'd some owners partly insured with us, some cases, none of them insured with us, and coordinating all those different insurers that all had different, they wanted to do it this way and they wanted to do it that way. And of course, for anything as a factor, we need to get the money in advance and know we can pay. So that was very challenging, very hard going, very stressful, dealing with individuals who, they're not listening to you. And I'm quite good at administering an account side of a project. I have a good understanding of that. But I found that's been challenging over the years, actually, dealing with professionals and, them maybe trying to kind of think that you don't know what you're talking about and sort of you having to prove yourself that you do.
Yeah. Is it common these days for tenements or any, I guess, communal flatted development to not have a block insurance policy?
Yes, yes, it is. I mean, it's if we can enforce it in the deed, then, and there's still some of the old deeds that don't say they have to have a common policy. Any new business coming on would say they have to, because it's, it should be a given. It is silly, people individually insuring their properties, bring that sum of money together, and if none of them have had any reinstatement valuations, there's going to be a shortfall in there, or we were lucky in that those owners that weren't insured, they found the money. We got the works done. We had more issues from other insurers actually than we did from the people that had the money, because, you weren't dealing with a third party authorization sort of thing. So yeah, I highly recommend getting a common policy. And if off the face of it, it might seem like, you're paying more than you would get online. Of course, that's going to be the case. Factors are making sure you're covered for every eventuality, whether you're a landlord, whether you're just an owner occupier. We're covering for making sure that you're getting, the full internal stacks and things like that. We are covering every eventuality, so that, the insurer can't say, oh, that's not covered for, a silly reason.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. That must be very difficult. Okay, so next question for you. Has there been a project that's particularly interested you?
Well,
apart from drains that are temperatures disappeared and fires within buildings. Okay,
yeah,
I have to apologise. My dog has appeared. So,
oh, lovely.
and he's
What's
just,
your dog's
well, not
name?
really. He's meant to be lying down. He's decided that he wants to come and say hello. So I think you can actually see him as well. Anyway, you carry on.
So in general, what I really enjoy is making a process more efficient. So, I love going, right, why are we doing it like that? Like, tell me why. And then when I start to understand why, sometimes it's just because that's just the way we've always done it. And, and my husband actually says I've got an efficiency disorder. He calls it, he said I've got a few disorders, but efficiency is one of them. And he even mentioned it in my wedding vows.